Hi everybody, Andrea Carvin here at Inner Sparks Rehab Gym and Spa. We're helping people perform their best in midlife and beyond is our highest priority. So today's topic is who diagnoses you with peripheral neuropathy matters, and why does it matter, and why is it important to understand when you have early stages of neuropathy. So when you start to develop what we call a peripheral neuropathy, you notice that there's something off when you're working, exercising, doing activities in your daily living, like showering, shaving, sleeping. You might feel numbness, tingling, something is just off and not right. And we often are likely to make assumptions about what might be off depending on where we are. So if it's at work, we might tend to make some assumptions that lead us to go to different type of doctors. So let me give you an example about this. If you have pain in your neck and your hands and your wrist, you might choose to go to a chiropractor because you're working on your desk and someone said, oh, it's your neck. So you go and they work on your neck, and that's one way of addressing when nerves are not sending a good signal up to the brain. Another thing might be if you do a lot of physical work for your job and you develop a low back injury. You may choose an orthopedic doctor who again will look at what is happening structurally, but may not be taking into consideration some other aspects. Let's say you have redness in your feet. You might say, oh, I should go to a podiatrist who will look at that area at that point in the problem. Or let's say you have a history of managing your blood sugar with diet and exercise, and you start to feel tingling and numbness, and your doctor had mentioned if that happens, that can be because of blood sugar, come and see me. So you might see an internist, for example. These different types of healthcare providers can all treat the feeling that you're experiencing, but each of them does it with a different lens and in a different way. The problem that often happens is that neuropathy affects movement and daily activity. And the way our healthcare system is currently set up, people who treat neuropathy are often all looking at a different part of the picture. I have a really cute cartoon. Hold on one sec. I wanted to show you about this. I don't know who did this cartoon, or I would give credit. But here's a whole bunch of doctors with all different opinions on what the problem is for this client, if you can just see that. And it really speaks to what is going on. And when you feel off and you're going to healthcare practitioners, really what's happening is that the communication in your body is not as good as it used to be. And in the early stages, we want to try to see if we can really get to what the source is that led to that. So let's consider 3 areas. And this is when it's just starting to happen. Neuropathy impacts chemical imbalances. So chemical imbalances in our body, vitamin deficiencies, hormones being off, blood sugar, blood work. There's all kinds of chemical things that can lead to the nerves not communicating really well. So that's something to consider. Neuropathy is impacted by stress. So if we have a lot of stress, we have cortisol, we have adrenaline in our bodies, and what that does is it makes our body move tighter. Even if we're working on our posture and going to the gym, if we're doing that every day and we start to develop tighter movement patterns, that can cause neuropathy. So we want to be addressing the stress aspect as well. And then the last thing is really neuropathy, or the nerves, are not communicating well between bone, muscle, and the brain. Something is off and the signals are off, and that will affect movement. So the sooner you get at your cause and really look at it from all three areas, the more likely it is you're going to reverse the conditions that led to it in the first place, because all three of these areas affect each other. And why we want to try to get to it early is if we keep moving with these incorrect or signals that aren't telling the brain exactly where the body is, the body and the brain don't like that, and we start developing compensation patterns for movement that down the road can lead to other problems. So when only considering one area, like pain relief, you could miss an important movement problem. And that can weaken your body and leave you more susceptible to injury and falls. And we know falls are a huge risk as people get older. So we want to avoid all that by really having good movement. You know you're on the right track if you bring in your professionals to work with you when you're feeling satisfied, confident, heard, energized through your day as you're addressing your body's needs. And that's how we test, and that's why it's important to learn to be an advocate for yourself and what areas to look at to help the communication between your nerves and your brain and back down to be really clear and really good. So we'll be talking more about this and what brain maps happen and how our neurology can really help us when we understand it to move way better. And even if we are developing these problems, how we can actually use our neurology to help improve and get rid of pain and some of the side effects that happen with neuropathy. Alrighty, thanks everybody. Have a great day. Till next time. Bye-bye.